Greetings, Eric Bakker, the naturopath from New Zealand, the gut health specialist. I'm back on the job. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this now, this is the beginning of the Candida Cleanse Advanced program. If you've completed the 3 modules first, you've basically completed your apprenticeship, and now you're on to the trade person level. Unfortunately, the wages are still pretty low, and we're going to get a bit personal with this, so I hope you don't mind, but we're going to talk about some personal stuff here. So why would you even consider a low-reactive diet? I mean, when you look at most people, they just focus on detoxification or cleansing. That's all they talk about. The elimination diet has always been a very powerful way for naturopaths to sort what foods and drinks suit our gut and what foods and drinks don't. Now, this may also involve some foods that you really like, because even so-called healthy foods can make you very sick. So we're not just talking about crappy foods like soda drinks, or there are many different types of foods you can react to, because foods contain natural chemicals and our bodies can react very inappropriately to these chemicals. Well, we're going to talk about identifying certain trigger foods that could be causing problems with you, like hidden symptoms. So patients would often come to me after, say, they'd be on a cleanse diet for 2 or 3 weeks, and they'd come back and say, but I've still got arthritis, or I've still got a gut ache, I can't sleep. You're going to get these kind of people coming to your clinic. If you've been in practice for 20 or 30 years, they're going to come back again and again with the same symptoms. Send them to the doctor for a steroid shot or maybe some laxatives or something. I always try to solve problems. It's like the tap that's always dripping, you just keep turning it tighter and it drives you crazy. A sore knee can be like that. We're going to try and uncover certain types of foods or drinks that you're consuming right now. And these things could be causing big problems with you without you even knowing about it, until one day the symptom goes away and you think, what the heck? Was it that pill, or was it that injection, or what was it? It could have been the fact that you went on holidays and didn't have that food for 2 or 3 days. So you've got to very carefully think that everything you eat and drink contains chemicals, all kinds of chemicals, and chemicals have different effects on your body. This process is a low-reactive diet we normally do for 2 or 3 weeks, and we're trying to identify certain types of trigger foods. So these trigger foods can really affect your gut and immune system bad, and they can be very subtle and in the background. And sometimes you may not even know that you're consuming these foods. A good idea is to talk to somebody close to you, like your partner or a close friend, or your brother or sister, or someone in the family, someone who knows you well. Have you noticed anything about something that I like to eat or drink a lot? What do you think it is? We're looking at potential trigger foods that could be causing immune reactions or gut reactions, and even delayed reactions, neurological or gut-brain axis reactions. We could be looking at anxiety and depression. We could look at the mood swings from certain types of foods. So when the immune system is on red alert and it's triggered, cause pain, it can cause inflammation in different areas of the body. This could be in your digestive system. This is why I often say to patients, let's look and discuss right now the foods and drinks you love to eat the most. Ice cream, for some people, is a daily ritual, and it's the same with a soda drink. Now think how your immune system's reacting. So I want you to look at your resources, because there's a whole lot of resources that go with this low-reactive diet. We've got comprehensive guides of the high and the low-reactive foods, but the key thing is also to look at tracking your symptoms using the symptom tracker. So this is ideal for long-term symptom monitoring, so you can track down the severity of your symptoms over a period of multiple weeks. It's a really good thing to do. The key thing with the low-reactive diet is we look at the top 9 allergens. 1 in 10 people in the United States have got a food allergy. It's 1 in 10. That's a lot of people. So let's talk now about the top allergen foods and the ones that you really need to look at, particularly if you're an addiction for these foods and you love to eat them all the time. We've got gluten and wheat. We've got cows or dairy products like cow's milk especially, but eggs, soy, corn, peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish. I've seen those allergies. Citrus fruits. So these can trigger IgE and IgG allergies. So these are 2 parts of your immune system, the immediate and delayed reaction. Now, what about a chemical called histamine? So histamine is a chemical that your body releases when it's been stimulated. And the histamine reactions can mean itchiness and sore eyes and migraines and anxiety and panic attacks and breathing issues. So a histamine response can be quite big for some people, and that's why they take antihistamines to reduce those reactions. So what are the troublemakers when it comes to the histamine? We're looking at smoked meats or salamis, and we're looking at wines, different types of wines. So things with mold in them that have been allowed to age or mature tend to be more prone to stimulating those types of responses in the body. Are you drawn towards a certain type of cheese? Are you drawn towards a certain type of wine? What are you drawn towards? So once you've cut that, you've found that, that could be the turning point for you when it comes to a big problem. So have a look at the printout and you'll find all of these things on there. Let's now briefly talk about salicylates. So salicylates are natural chemicals produced by plants in response to insect attack. Plants have to protect themselves against bugs that chew on them and bite them. They can also be toxic to certain people that are sensitive to those toxins. They create stomach pain, sinus issues, inflammation in the body. Oral allergy syndrome, like you could get mouth ulcers or the mouth being painful, or you may feel your gums even sore on the inside. Honey, mint, broccoli, grapes, apples, berries often contain a lot of salicylates. The personal question: are you eating any of these high salicylate foods? Are you drawn to them, attracted to them? Do you really like them? Because they could be causing a problem. Okay, so what's the game plan for the low reactive diet? Well, in fact, we're going to do 2 videos with the low reactive diet because there was so much to talk about. You need a simplified diet. So the trick with this is don't make your diet complicated. If you've got problems in the body with pain, inflammation, a chronic problem you've had for years, and you want to get rid of it, you need to simplify your diet, because that will allow you to identify what some of the key triggers are in foods that are creating big responses in the body. Always look at the foods that you like the most, because they can often be the ones that are causing you a lot of problems. We keep going back to these foods again, and as I said, ask other people if you don't really know. Remember to avoid the most common allergenic foods, and if you're really drawn to them, drop them straight away. Boom. Just stop them. And the other key thing when you're going through these changes is to stay well hydrated, to drink plenty of water. So how long do you do this for, this phase? Your gut needs a spa time now. It doesn't need jail time, okay? It needs a spa time. So am I doing well in my job? Am I enjoying it? Is my energy good? Is my sleep good? All those things. And if you can say, yes, I've definitely picked up, then think of the key foods you've dropped from the diet. Because what we're trying to do with this phase is a low reactive. We're trying to take the reaction in the diet down so we can see if the inflammatory responses in the body are nosediving at the same time, okay? So a lot of drugs are designed to reduce inflammatory responses in the body. So that's a key thing to remember. We've got to drive inflammation down, and we drive inflammation down by A, getting away from the crappy food, and B, get the high reactive out. And that's all I think we're going to talk about. So in part 2 of the low reactive diet, we're going to talk more about meal rotations and how we actually implement this on a better level. We also talk about what to do if symptoms pop up. How can you manage these symptoms? Do you need to run straight to the chemist, or what can we do? So we'll talk about that too. Thanks for tuning in.